Before you take GLP-1 medications, watch this video. I wish somebody would have made this video for me because I've had life-changing issues ever since taking GLP-1 meds, and this is something that everybody needs to be aware of. Let's get into the video. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is January the 12th, 2026, and this is the first day that I've actually felt like getting on camera and talking to you guys. And this is a video that I've been thinking about making, wanted to make, but unfortunately I have been hospitalized since January the 2nd. I got out of the hospital January the 7th, was back in the emergency room on January the 9th. And yesterday was the first day that I've been able to eat since January 1st, 2026. So let's talk about what all happened. I'm also going to throw in some clips of different videos that I put up on TikTok. I have over 300,000 views on TikTok from these videos and over 20,000 comments. And the comments are absolutely eye-opening. The stuff that has happened to me since starting GLP-1 medications almost ended my life. And it's something everybody needs to be aware of before you ever think about taking these medications. So for those of you that have been following this channel for quite a while, you know how super excited and stoked I was that I started the GLP-1 medications and that I was going to finally lose weight and get down to a healthy weight. At my heaviest, I was 223 pounds. Obviously not super overweight, but I had a big stomach on me, a really big stomach on me, and my face was a lot fatter. I don't know if you guys can tell how much weight I've lost in my face, but I'll even stand up and show you guys. I have lost a ton of weight, and it wasn't healthy the way I've done it. So December 1st, I signed up through a company called Mochi. I actually was recommending them to you guys, and I really hope that nobody signed up for them. After this video, you'll understand why. But Mochi, is an online health provider, so they say, and they pair you with medical professionals in your state to help oversee your weight loss journey. And they paired me up with a lady by the name of Bonnie Witchman out of Fox Lake, Illinois, who was a nurse practitioner. And the lady seemed like a very nice young lady, or nice older lady. Seemed like she really cared. And I didn't really foresee any issues, to be honest with you. So I started off with a 0.25 milligram injection weekly. I was taking it every Friday of semaglutide, and it had a compounding agent or an additive of B12 in the shot. For the first 3 weeks that I took it, I had absolutely no side effects whatsoever. I wasn't nauseous. I wasn't dehydrated. I wasn't having any stomach issues. Everything was fine. I was still eating normally, was eating pretty much about as much as I had been before. However, I was losing a little bit of weight with it, and I thought everything was fine. By week 4, that shot of the 0.25, I was still okay, but I was getting a little bit of a round of nausea from time to time. Nothing that was unbearable, nothing that I couldn't deal with, but I was getting a little on the nauseous side. So I reached out to the provider. The provider ended up telling me to reach out to my PCP, primary care physician, and get a prescription for Zofran, which is a under-the-tongue dissolving medication that stops with, upset stomach. So I did that and I was fine. I was able to live through the little bit of issues that I was having from that lower dose. Well, that's where everything changed. On January the 2nd, my dose increased to 0.4 milligrams. And within 1 hour of taking that 0.4 milligrams, I was hospitalized. And I was so sick that I thought I was going to die. And I'm not saying that for clickbait. I'm not saying that to exaggerate. I thought I was going to die. It started off with really, really severe nausea. And then it quickly escalated into projectile vomiting, diarrhea, just really, really bad upset stomach. And I ended up having my partner take me to the emergency room and was ultimately admitted to the hospital immediately. That was on January the 2nd. I spent January the 2nd and January the 3rd in the hospital. January the 3rd was my birthday, and so they released me from the hospital at like 8:30 that evening because after all of the intravenous medications, antibiotics for colitis and other things that were giving me in fluids and what they call banana bags, which is bunches of vitamins for nutrients, they thought that I was doing better. And so they had me do like a clear liquid diet, and if I could hold that down, they sent me home. While I was holding it down with the medications that they gave me, the only problem was, and what we did not realize at that point, was my stomach was now paralyzed. Completely paralyzed. I was not processing anything. Nothing was digesting. Nothing was going down. And at that point, I had stopped being able to use the bathroom. And I was holding everything in. My stomach was bigger than what it was prior to me starting my weight loss journey. And so the night of the 4th, the morning of the 5th, I drove myself back to the emergency room at like 1 a.m. because I had such severe stomach cramps and stomach pain, and I felt like all of my food or broths and waters and stuff was sitting up here underneath my rib cage. And I had really, really bad acid reflux to the point where I could not even lay down. So they seen me, and surprisingly, they didn't admit me. They did give me an IV, and gave me more fluids because I was dehydrated still, and then gave me some Pepsid in an IV for the acid reflux, and also gave me another antacid pill or medication called Carafate. Also, while I was there, they gave me an enema to try to get things flowing so I could use the bathroom. Unfortunately, it worked just a little bit there while I was at the hospital, but by the time I had gotten home, it had completely stopped again. So I think what it did was probably all that water that they had stuck up there just kind of cleaned out the bottom end, but it wasn't allowing anything to flow. And I know this is a lot of TMI, and I'm sorry, but this video is going to help somebody. Like I said, I've got over 300,000 views and over 20,000 comments on TikTok about this, and this is why I'm prompting me to post these videos. So after I get home that night, I come out here and I just sit on the couch because my partner had to work early the next morning and I didn't want to bother him. And 7:30 that following morning, his alarm goes off. So I go in the bedroom to try to get some rest. I had been up all night long, had not slept, not one wink, was at this point extremely lethargic and tired and just really run down. And I just wanted to sleep. I just wanted to go to sleep. I wanted this all to pass and I wanted to feel better. Within about 5 minutes of me going into the bedroom, and at this point I was carrying around a trash can with me because I felt like at any minute I was going to throw up, I ended up throwing up. And I threw up over 5 pounds of fluid. And the only reason I know that is because I took myself back to the hospital after that. And the night prior, I was 215 pounds. And after I threw up and came back to the hospital that morning, within just a matter of a few hours of being released from the ER, I was 210 pounds. I had threw up 5 pounds of nothing but fluid. So I did drive myself back to the hospital that morning after I thrown up, and this was after the fact that I blacked out in our tub. Woke up to just cold water running over me, not knowing where I was at, confused, dazed. Unfortunately, where we live, we're about 10 miles from the nearest hospital. And so when I called 911 to have them come and get me, they wanted to take me to a completely different hospital that was a little bit closer than the one that I use, which is Good Shepherd Hospital in Barrington, Illinois. And so ultimately, I took a shower. After blacking out, I got dressed, and as bad as I felt with a bucket between my legs, I drove myself the 9.5 miles to the hospital. And I was admitted immediately. That was on January the 5th, and I was kept until January the 7th. During that time, they realized that I had complete paralysis of my stomach. I had colitis in the colon, which is an infection in your colon. I was extremely dehydrated. They considered me malnourished. And I was just having a bunch of issues. I could not stop throwing up. One minute I was hot, the next minute I was cold, so they thought that I had the flu. They tested me for the flu and found out that that was negative. They tested me for COVID, and I was negative. And after sending me to a GI doctor or GI specialist, doing an ultrasound on my stomach, doing a CT scan on my stomach, doing x-rays on my stomach, doing tons of lab work, they come to the conclusion that I had complete paralysis of my stomach, which just means my entire stomach was shut down. There was really nothing else that they could do at that point. They had came up with a conclusion that they were going to have to put a colostomy bag on, and they gave me just a matter of a few hours to start being able to use the bathroom. And if I couldn't do so, I was going to end up with a colostomy bag. Ultimately, I don't know if it was God's will. I don't know, and I'm not a super religious person. I don't know what it was, but ultimately, I ended up finally being able to start using the bathroom, diarrhea, and they didn't end up putting a colostomy bag on. Thank you, Jesus. They did end up releasing me on the 7th, after they forced me to eat food and stuff like that and see if I could hold it down. And it wasn't the holding it down part that I couldn't do, it was the fact that my stomach was in complete paralysis, that I wasn't able to pass it. So whatever I would eat was sitting in my stomach. It was causing me to be nauseous, and causing me great pain in my stomach because of the fullness that I was experiencing. So I ended up coming home on the 7th, and the 8th was miserable. Severe acid reflux. Was able to keep fluids and stuff down for that night. However, the morning of the 9th, I woke up to being extremely nauseous again, having really bad acid reflux again, and I ended up throwing up again. And I threw up all of the Carafate that I had taken, which is the acid suppressor. And if any of you guys have ever taken the liquid form of that, it basically tastes like sandpaper going down your throat. It's very powdery, and when you throw it up, it's even worse. It got caught in my throat. I can still taste it. Just talking about it, I can taste it. It's almost nauseating. So we went back to the ER on the morning of the 9th. They put another IV in me. I've got so many bruising bruises all over my body from IVs and things. I've had them in both arms. I've had them, this is where they drew blood. This was another IV. I had an IV in the top of my hand. They had one in my arm. I've had so many freaking IVs in me, it's ridiculous, and I cannot stand needles to save my life. So they ended up giving me more intravenous medication to try to stop the nausea and get to my stomach to moving. Also gave me more fluids on the 9th, and ultimately ended up sending me home. I come home, my partner goes and gets me electrolyte, the bottles of electrolytes. I drank an entire bottle of electrolyte and a half a bottle of Gatorade, was actually able to hold it down. Didn't get nauseous, which was surprising. Started using the bathroom again, which again was surprising. As I sit here and talk to you right now, I am still having some mild stomach discomfort as far as a little bit of pain here and there. And the fear is, because it's happened to a lot of people, is that I'm going to end up having to have my gallbladder removed. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that I bounce back from this. But this is life on GLP-1 medications, and a lot of people do not talk about this stuff. A lot of people, GLP-1 medications has helped. And I do want to be very clear and say that everybody's body is different. Everybody reacts to medications and stuff differently. So what my experience is and what I'm telling you that happened to me may not happen to you, but then again, it may. And I would, in my good conscience, I would prefer to wean people more to the side of caution and understanding of what the possibilities are of what you could experience. You could experience full paralysis of your stomach. You could experience having to have your gallbladder and your appendix removed. You could experience ending up in a colostomy bag. You could experience having a feeding tube put in you because you're unable to eat or drink. There's any realm of possibilities of what you could experience, and you need to be aware of this, because had I have been aware of everything, I would have never done the medication. Yes, I know there's side effects in every medication. That's every medication out there. I mean, even Tylenol has a side effect. Everything has side effects. I get that. I was unaware of how severe the side effects were for GLP-1 medications. Now, with all of that being said, I want to give you guys some information that I did not have. And this was actually, I spoke with the FDA this morning. So kind of let me give you like a quick little backstory, and we're going to wrap this video up. So I started posting live from the hospital on TikTok about what I was experiencing day to day and updates. And the videos took off. Like I said, over 300,000 views in just a matter of a week, 20-something thousand comments. I think the last time I looked a little while ago, 1,093 private messages, all people sharing their stories. And I am supposed to be featured on King 5 News out of Seattle, Washington, sometime this week. They are setting up a Zoom interview with me where they are going to be talking about this on air. Washington has already shut down Mochi. And there's a lot of other states that are currently in the process of shutting down Mochi. So I did reach out to the FDA and spoke with them. And the representative from the FDA advised me to reach out to an attorney. I did reach out to an attorney, and I am supposed to be getting some paperwork here sometime today to sign to be represented. I know there's going to be somebody that's going to comment, because I've seen the comments on TikTok is, well, these are known side effects, you don't have a case. Well, the attorney, the people with the law degree, says otherwise. And they said that I absolutely do have a case, because there's other key factors of this. Not a lot, but there is certain key factors of all of this that I have not told you guys. And I'm not allowed to tell you guys. And it is what made this from having a case to not having a case. So I'm just going to leave it at that. At some point, I will be able to talk about it. It does have directly to do with the compounding pharmacy, Illinois compounding pharmacy that I got the medication from, or that fulfilled the order. But that is all that I can say. I cannot go into any details about what actually made the attorney decide that this was a case. So what the FDA did ask me, because I did talk to them about the fact that I had posted the videos on TikTok and had got such a crazy reaction to it. They wanted me to share a little bit of information with you guys. And this isn't just about GLP-1 medications. This is about any medication. So if you have, if you've taken any medication and you've had any kind of really nasty side effects from it, report it. To report a medical product to the FDA, use the MedWatch program online, by phone, or by email. You can call them at 1-800-FDA-1088. That's 1-800-FDA-1088. You can also use Form 3500B, which is the consumer form on their website. I'm going to link all of this in the description box below for all of you guys to be aware of. For adverse reactions, quality issues, or failure with drugs, devices, supplements, etc., the FDA relies on these voluntary reports to monitor product safety and to take actions if patterns emerge. To report, please report online, which is their quickest. However, I can tell you that their online portal has been inundated with reports lately and has been glitching and having issues. But I will give you more information on that. You would go to www.fda.gov/medwatch, MEDWATH. You would use their online form 3500B for consumers. And then on there, you can also upload photos and medical records if you feel free to do so. If for some reason, when you are trying to use that online portal, if you get an error message like I did 3 times when trying to submit it, please call them by phone, 1-800-FDA-1088. That's 1-800-332-1088. You can also download and print the form and mail it or fax it to them. With the report, they want information about serious side effects and adverse reactions, product quality issues, contamination, wrong strength, therapeutic inevaluation or failure, doesn't work as expected, or use errors. They are also interested in drugs, biologics, medical devices, dietary supplements, infant formula, and cosmetics. Your healthcare provider can also provide you with the form, but you can report directly through their website. Providing detailed information helps the FDA investigate. For emergencies, call 911 immediately. So that is going to be it for this video. Again, all of that I just read to you is going to be linked in the description box below. Please drop a comment below and let me know, have you had issues with GLP-1s? Have you tried them? What medication it is that you got, and where you got it from. Now, before I end the video, there's a couple things that I do want to say, because this is another common response that I get over on my TikTok channel, and I want to address it. Number one, it's not just compounding medications. A lot of people tell me, oh, it's because you got a compound. It's not just compounding. Trizipatide is the #1 name brand medication that is giving people issues, and they're having just as many nasty issues as I did with the compounding of semaglutide. The #2 product that has a ton of issues is Wegovy. Wegovy is another one that is having a ton of issues. And thirdly is Ozempic. Ozempic seems like it's the lesser of the 3 evils of the name brand anyway, but Ozempic is having a lot of issues as well. So #1 for name brand is Trizipatide, #2 Wegovy, #3 Ozempic. And the number one issue in the compounding is semaglutide, which is the one that is most available to everybody and easily accessible because of the price point. It's $99 for a vial, where the name brand ones is like $300 and $400 a vial. So I want you guys to keep that in mind as well. Number two, the pharmacy that mine came through was Illinois Compounding Pharmacy out of Libertyville, Illinois. Number three, the service provider was Mochi Health, M-O-C-H-I Health. They are being sued in a bunch of different states. They are being lobbied to be completely shut down. And this is something that a lot of people need to be aware of, because Mochi Health has a lot of customers right now, and they are one of the ones that has the most issues with the medication. I mean, in Washington State, they got in trouble and shut down completely. Mind you, they're shut down completely in Washington because they were hiring people from Home Depot parking lot to go into their pharmacy and fulfill orders and to do these compoundings for them. Home Depot parking lot. Who do we see in Home Depot parking lots? It's illegals looking for work. This isn't speculation. This was proven. This is factual. And they were shut down in Washington and fined huge because of it. So I want to point that out. Lastly, I just want to address my voice. The reason my voice sounds like this is because my vocal cords are damaged due to all of the vomiting that I've done. The doctor did say that they should heal once I stop vomiting. I haven't vomited in a couple of days now, so hopefully that will go away and I can sound a little bit more like a queer. I mean, a little bit more like I was. And it's just a joke, guys. I'm just trying to make you guys laugh. But hopefully my voice will come back a little bit and I don't sound like this. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys have always given me on this channel. Again, all of this information that I gave you about the FDA will be in the description box below, along with links directly to the reporting site for you to report issues. And I will continue to update you guys here on YouTube as well. Stick through the end of this video. I am going to post 4 screen recordings of the videos that I posted on TikTok. This was the videos that I was posting in live time of what I was going through. So if you guys are interested in seeing those and how I was feeling and how I was progressing and degressing, stick through to the end of this video and you can watch those as well. Thank you guys again so much for the love and support, and you'll have
If you are thinking about doing GLP-1 medications, listen to this video. I have been in the hospital now since January the 2nd due to GLP-1s. This is something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. I don't think a lot of people know about it, because the companies that provide the GLP-1 medications, they're not telling, excuse me, I'm hoarse because I've been throwing up so much. But they don't tell people about all the hell that you can go through by taking GLP-1. Now, obviously, everybody's a little bit different. It doesn't affect everybody the same way. But from what I have found out from being here at the hospital, it affects a lot of people the same way that I'm going through right now. So it can cause your bowels to completely shut down, and you have obstructions or blockages where they have to do surgery to actually clear it out for you. It causes severe dehydration. It causes malnourishment. It causes a lot of different things that a lot of people are completely unaware of. So I went through the company Mochi and was originally prescribed 0.25 and took it for 30 days. And for the most part, I didn't have any side effects from the 0.25. That's the lowest dose. And then this past Friday on the 2nd, they upped me to 0.4. Within an hour of me taking that, I was so sick that I could not, I thought I was dying. I was vomiting uncontrollably, was extremely nauseous and sick to my stomach. I could not keep anything down. I couldn't even drink water. So I came to the hospital, to the emergency room, and I ended up ultimately getting admitted to the hospital. I was kept until January 3rd, about 8:30 at night, and they thought that I was doing better because I had ate and drank some clear liquids and stuff like that, so they thought I was getting better. At 1 a.m. on the 4th, I drove myself back to the emergency room because I had really bad acid reflux and I felt like I was extremely full and nothing I did was relieving any of the pain. So I came in, they ended up giving me an enema to try to get me to pass, whatever. And it worked a little bit, but not much. And then they gave me other medications for the acid reflux. They ended up sending me home that night. I got home about 2 in the morning, and I was not able to lay flat or lay down or go to sleep because the acid reflux and my stomach was so full, it felt like it was up to here. My partner had to work the next morning, so I stayed in the living room on the couch. And at 7:30, when his alarm went off, I went into the bedroom to try to get a little bit of rest. I was so miserable that I couldn't do anything. So within just a few minutes of me going into the bedroom, I ended up vomiting. And I vomited close to 5 pounds worth of fluids and stuff that came out of my stomach. And the only reason that I know that is because when I came to the emergency room at 1 a.m. or that night before, I was 215 pounds. And when I came back to the emergency room that morning, I was 210 pounds. I puked up a bathroom trash can halfway full of fluids. So I ended up feeling like I had some relief, and I laid back down and thought I was going to be okay. And within just a few minutes, I ended up having to throw up again. And I threw up twice more before I had any relief. What ended up coming up out of me looked like it had came out the back door. It was brown, it stunk, it was really bad. So I ended up laying down, taking a nap, finally, got a little bit of sleep, woke up super nauseous again, and ultimately went and sat in the shower to run water on me, hoping it would make me feel better. At some point, I ended up blacking out because I was so dehydrated, and I woke up in the bottom of the shower with cold water running on me. I ended up, very stupidly, driving myself back to the hospital, and they ended up admitting me immediately, and I've been here ever since. They have done CT scans for bowel obstructions. They have done all types of blood work. I have IVs in me. It's disconnected right now because I just took a shower a few minutes ago. It's been hell. It's absolutely been hell. And this is something that nobody talks about with GLP-1s. And this is something that people need to hear about. It needs to be vocalized. More people need to talk about the negative experiences that they have with this medication. Because I can tell you, the doctors told me, had I not had been vigilant enough and got myself to the emergency room when I did, I could be dead. I was severely dehydrated, really malnourished. They gave me tons of different vitamin shots Guys, my voice sounds like this because I've thrown up so much that it's damaged my vocal cords. So I'm having a hard time talking. But I just really wanted you guys to know what was going on, because these GLP-1s are not a joke. Yeah, they make you lose weight fast, but the side effects, they extremely outweigh the positive that you get out of it. So if you're thinking about doing GLP-1s, think twice. Join a gym, change your eating habits, do whatever you can, but avoid. Hey guys, so I wanted to give you guys an update on my GLP-1 saga. I've been trying to answer everybody's questions and their comments, and even the nasty ones. But I can tell you, this video really blew up, and it got a lot more views than I ever imagined, honestly. I'm sitting like close to 30,000 views on one video, and 2,000 or 3,000 views on each reply video or comment video that I've done. And I've gotten something like over 500 and something comments, and like 43 private messages. So I'm trying to get to everybody's questions, your comments. I have went through and hearted each and everybody's comment, just so you know that I've read it. So if I didn't personally respond to you, watch this video, because I am going to address a lot of the comments and answer a lot of the questions. So for those of you that are just seeing this video and don't know what I'm talking about, my name is Sean. I went on semaglutide with B12 through Mochi and ended up in the hospital, and was in the hospital since January 2nd. Just got out tonight, which is January the 7th, about 4:30 this afternoon I got out. And I'm out here, it's midnight right now, I'm out here on the couch because I've got such heartburn that I can't lay flat, so that's why I'm propped up on the couch. So I will try to make all of this in this one video, but I've only got 8 minutes left, so let's see. So again, I feel like I need to make the disclaimer, because there's a lot of people that obviously are not paying attention and don't listen, or whatever the case may be. So yes, I am well aware that GLP-1 medications have side effects. All medications have side effects. That is a given. What I was not aware of was the severity of the side effects, even though a lot of you guys are commenting and saying, well, it says right here in the thing that they can cause this, this, and this side effect. I can tell you that I went through Mochi, and with Mochi, they did not tell me about all of these crazy side effects. And I remember having a conversation with my provider and telling my provider that I had tried this back in April of 2025. I was on a different compound, and they started me at 0.5, which is pretty high to start off somebody. And within the second shot, I was in the hospital. I was sick to my stomach. Nothing like what I just experienced, though. So someone did ask me, and I realized that I don't even think I talked about this. I just talked about the upset stomach and stuff like that. But somebody asked me what my blood work showed. So when they did my blood work, I was extremely dehydrated. I also have a infection in my colon called colitis. And they said it is a direct result of the GLP-1 medication. My magnesium was extremely low. And my, what was it they said? Oh, my white blood cell count was extremely elevated because of the infection in my colon. They did a CT scan of my lower intestines and my stomach. They didn't find any bowel obstructions, but they did find that my stomach had almost completely shut down. My intestines was not moving. There was no gurgling. There was no sounds coming from it. I wasn't able to pass gas. I wasn't able to pass stools. Nothing was coming out. They ultimately ended up doing an enema, which got things flowing. And after several days of intravenous IV antibiotics, my stomach finally woke back up and it started moving. I did tell my partner tonight, which I had withheld from him because I didn't want him so scared and worrying until I got home at least, They did tell me when I went and admitted myself back into the hospital this last time that had I not have came when I did, I probably would not have survived through the day or through the evening, because I was so dehydrated and my body was already starting to shut down. I was to the point where when I tried to pee, nothing came out. And when they did finally put an IV in, and start putting fluids in, and I peed for the first time, it was extremely cloudy. They started measuring my urine and stuff like that. And every time I had to pee in a tub thing that they put on top of the toilet so they could measure how many milliliters I was actually peeing out. So after 2.5 days of being on an IV with a constant drip of fluids, they finally discontinued the IV. They discontinued the heart monitor because when I first came in, my heart was beating all kind of crazy because of being so dehydrated. It's what the doctors told me. And so once I finally got rehydrated and I was able to pee again and all of that, they were able to take the heart monitor off. They took the IV, not the IV out, but they took me off the IV fluids. And I just had to continue every few hours getting a IV drip of antibiotics to try to clear up the infection in my colon from the GLP-1. Now, this morning when I woke up, I was extremely nauseous, and I was nauseous until about 11 a.m. today. So originally I was supposed to be released from the hospital early this morning, and because I had the setback overnight, they were actually on the fence, and they didn't know if they were going to release me or not today because they wanted to make sure that I was able to hold food down. Finally, the doctor made a deal with me. She told me, excuse me, guys. She said, order something off of the full liquid menu, which was like Jell-O and stuff like that. And that as long as I was able to hold something down on my stomach and it didn't make me nauseous, then later in the day she would end up releasing me, which she did. So I got sent home with tons of prescriptions for different antibiotics that I still have to continue to take until the colitis is completely cleared up. My bowels have kind of woken back up, but I'm still not really pooping, if you will. It's more of a liquid form. It's really dark and it's really heavy. And by that, most of you guys probably know what I mean. If you ever went and used the bathroom and noticed that nothing, it almost looks like sludge that just floats to the bottom of the toilet. And yes, I'm well aware that feces is pretty much our body's sludge, but it looks like dark oil, I guess, is the best way of putting it, that just sinks to the bottom of the toilet. So since I've been home, like I said, I got out about 4:30 today. Since I've been home, I've tried to snack on stuff to try to get my strength back because there was nothing there that I really wanted. Their food at that hospital is absolutely disgusting. Beautiful hospital, very nice staff, very clean hospital, but the food was gross. So since I've been home, I've ate a strawberry popsicle, the real fruit popsicles. I was able to hold that down. I had a few crackers. I was able to hold those down. And I had maybe 6 or 7 bites of broccoli cheddar rice. I did come home and take a nap, but now I have really bad heartburn. I took some Pepsid, which was prescribed to me from them. And I'm waiting for that to kick in. I hope it kicks in pretty soon because I would love to go to bed. But unfortunately, this is my life now until all of this GLP-1 gets out of my system and my body fully reawakens, or whatever the proper way of saying that, wakes back up. And so I will continue to update you guys because I know there's a lot of you guys that are genuinely invested in this. I've even seen a lot of people's comments saying that because of my videos, they were actually thinking about starting the GLP-1s, and because of my videos, they've actually chosen not to do so. And I just want to reiterate that not everybody reacts the same way. Yes, there is side effects to every medication. However, these are my side effects, and this is what has happened to me. And from the comments, this has happened to a lot of people. And I have seen the comment where a lot of people have said, oh, it's because I used semaglutide, I used a compound. Well, that's not the case either, because even the medical professionals at the hospital and a lot of people in the comments have said they've used name brand like Wegovy or Tirzepatide or any of the other ones, and they had the same side effects. So it's not just because it's a compound. Anyway, I'm out of time on this video. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support and all the comments. I'm reading every one of them, even if I don't respond to you individually. Have a good night, and I will update y'all tomorrow. Hey guys, it's been a couple of days since I've given you guys an update, so I want to give you guys an update on what's going on with my side effects from the GLP-1 medications, and then there's also some kind of turn of events, if you will. A reporter reached out to me. They actually want to do a story on this and what's going on, and a lawyer has reached out to me through TikTok, who's actually an attorney locally. And they want to open a case against Mochi and against the Illinois compounding pharmacy that sold me the product. So let's get into the story. So first of all, let's address the last post that I put up. And I'm sorry for my voice. I was throwing up again at 8:30 this morning, and it was really bad. So the last post that I posted, me in the hospital bed, and I said on there that they were talking about putting me in a medically induced coma and putting a feeding tube in. So part of that was correct, part of it was wrong, and that is my fault. I wasn't completely understanding what they were telling me. So they did blood work and stuff again yesterday, and checked all of my numbers, and my numbers were still fairly okay. There was still some stuff that was a little bit of a red flag to them, but for the most part, my numbers were getting better. So they said a feeding tube wasn't needed. But from the time that I got released from the hospital the other day to when I went back to the hospital yesterday, I lost 10 pounds more. I'm right at 200 pounds now. When I started Mochi, I was at 222. So I've lost 22 pounds in a month, which is extremely dangerous. So yesterday I thought was actually going to be, I guess I put it in the refrigerator. Yesterday I thought was going to be a really good day, because when I came home from the hospital after that post, they had given me an injection through the IV and gave me a bag of fluids. And I don't know what the medication was that they gave me, but it gave me restless leg syndrome so bad I thought it was crawling out of my skin. It was one of the most miserable things on top of what I was already dealing with. But I came home. I thought yesterday was going to be a good day because I started feeling better. I laid down. I took a nap. I drank an entire bottle of electrolyte and was able to hold it down, and I was fine. And then I drank about a half a bottle of Gatorade. Still was able to hold it down, no problem. So then last night about 7 o'clock or so, I tried to, maybe I got a little overzealous, if you will, but I tried to take down a little bit of chicken broth, and I took it down, held it down, no problem. I did it really slowly. It probably took me about an hour to get about this much in a cup down. And I had put a few crackers in it just because they kept trying to feed me crackers at the hospital. So I figured I'd throw a few crackers in there to help me, feel a little bit full, if you will, or whatever. So I was able to hold all of that down. The problem was about 12:30 last night, I had went to bed at like 10, was sleeping really good. And as you guys can see, like I've been sleeping with the cushions from the couch so I can stay kind of elevated so the acid doesn't come up into my throat. And like 12:30, it woke me up. I guess I had kind of laid flat, and I was throwing up acid, like just pure acid was in my mouth. So they had given me Carafate, the liquid form. And so I went out there and took Carafate, and I took Pepsid AC 20 milligram, which is what the doctors told me to take. And it got a little bit better. I slept like this all night last night, or didn't really sleep, just dozed on and off. And 7:30 this morning, when my partner's alarm went off to go to work, I woke up and I was super nauseous, like really, really nauseous. So while he was in the shower and stuff, I ended up having to go number two, and it was still just liquid coming out, nothing of any form whatsoever. And so he got ready for work. He left. I asked him if he would run to the store because we have a convenience store right here by our house. I asked him if he'd run over there and get another couple things of the Pedialyte for me so I could drink that and see if I started feeling better, even though I was super nauseous. Well, I own a cleaning business, and I had a clean that was needing to be done today. So the young lady that works for me, she had, called me throughout the day or throughout the morning and checked on me or whatever. And she went and got my Zofran from the pharmacy for me. But while my partner had went to the drugstore or the convenience store, guys, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. He went to the convenience store. I threw up again. And I've been throwing up in our bucket here, and I kid you not, like, it's clean now. I wash it every time. I'm doing this one-handed, but I threw up like this much in the bottom of this bucket, and I threw up the Carafate. And if you guys have ever thrown that up after taking it, it tastes like pure sandpaper coming out of your throat. It was so horrible. So anyway, the girl that works for me went to the pharmacy. She picked up the Zofran and brought it back. And I took it. I finally stopped feeling nauseous, but the acid is still there. So I just took another Pepsid here a little bit ago, and it's starting to finally help. My stomach is still kind of tender. But with that being said, and I know this is TMI, but I've been telling you guys everything, so I feel like you guys can handle what I'm going to tell you. So a little while ago, I had to go number two again. And it's finally starting to form. It had the weirdest smell. It smelled like popcorn to me. Like, it didn't smell like number two. It smelled like popcorn. It was weird. But it's finally starting to form. So I'm hoping that means things are, like, starting to settle down a little bit. I don't know. And I'm terrified to, like, try to eat anything or whatever because I do not want to keep throwing up. Guys, I've thrown up so much that my voice is, like, it sounds like shit. And it's not because I'm sick. It's just because I've thrown up so much. So I've been drinking Pedialyte, sipping on it all day, and trying to get better. I feel like shit. I'm not really weak. Like yesterday, like I said, I really thought I was going to be okay today because yesterday, like, I was feeling fine. Like, so much so, I cleaned the house. Like, I vacuumed the floors. I did laundry. I cleaned the bathroom. I cleaned the kitchen all while my partner was at work. He came in and he was pissed that I was up doing anything. It was like yelling and telling me to go lay my ass down. But I was like, I was feeling fine. I was okay. I was a little on the weak side, but I was pacing myself and I was doing everything slow. But the house hadn't been cleaned in over a week since I've been in the hospital, so I wanted to clean. So I did. And I needed to clean the bathroom because I threw up the night before, and I threw up, like, in the bathroom sink and in the tub, and it was bad. So anyway, there's that acid. I don't know, guys. I think I'm slowly starting to get better, and I'm hoping I'm slowly starting to get better. I have another job that I have to do on the 15th that I don't have anybody available to go do, and I cannot cancel this person. So I'm praying to God that I'm better enough to go clean this woman's house. But we shall see. I have a staff that can do a lot of stuff, but a lot of them only work for me on the weekends because a lot of our jobs are on the weekends. So I don't know, guys. Anyway, I just want to give you guys an update and let you know how I'm feeling, how I'm doing. I've been seeing the messages. Trust and believe me, I have read every single message. I don't really feel like responding to everybody individually, so I've just tapped you guys so you guys know that I've seen your message. But I have seen every one of you's messages, and then quite a few of you have sent me private messages wishing, well wishes and stuff, and I greatly appreciate that. I really do. Anyway, guys, I will keep y'all posted until I'm completely well. I will keep making these videos so you guys know what's going on, and the ups and the downs and everything else. And again, thank you so much for all the love and support. Good morning, guys. So I wanted to give you guys another update on the GLP-1 side effects and what's going on, and also respond to a couple of comments that I keep seeing on here. So let's get into the video. So I woke up this morning to 503 comments, and I've tried to read a majority of those and go through, but it'll take me some time to respond to all of them, but I will try to get to all of you guys' comments. So first, let me address this, because I feel like I'm beating myself or my head against the wall when telling you guys this, because it seems like it's in one ear and out the other, and everybody has to come in and make a little smart-ass comment about it. So first and foremost, it's not happening just because it is a compound. I've had something like 20,000 comments since I have started these series of posts, and I'm getting people who have taken just semaglutide, and I'm getting a lot of people that are taking like Wegovy and trizepatide and name brand products, and they're getting them directly from their doctors, and they're still having the same side effects. So it's not because it's a compound. It's not because it's a generic brand or whatever. It's happening to everybody. It's not just because it's semaglutide. So let's get that stigma out of the way now. The other thing that I see a lot of people commenting and saying is, well, you've got to eat, you've got to drink, you've got to do this, you've probably had a poor diet, blah, 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 blah. There's been several of my really close friends that are been following along and been commenting. A few of them, I don't know if any of you guys have seen them, but I am actually a very healthy eater. I drink tons of water. I drink tons of electrolyte. I eat proteins like chicken and stuff like that, and broccoli. Like, guys, I eat so much vegetables that my partner gets irritated with me and tells me all the time, like, can you make something else? I'm broccolied out, or I'm this out, or I'm tired of this, or I'm tired of that. Like, I'm a healthy eater. And when I was on the shot, I was doing everything that I was told to do by my provider and from the things that I had seen online about taking this type of medication. So it's not because I was not eating healthy. It's not because I wasn't drinking like I was supposed to. It is literally just a side effect of this medication. The other thing that I feel like I've got to tell you guys, because I've said it in every video, is everybody's body is different. Everybody reacts differently to this medication. How it's affecting me today may affect you the same way tomorrow, or it may not. You may take the medication and be completely fine with the medication. The problem is nobody really knows how it's going to affect you until you take the medication. And unfortunately, if you take the medication and you have a adverse reaction to it, then you're SOL, and you're stuck for a week or more in these really horrible side effects. And in some people that have been commenting, they've been stuck in these side effects for months. There was one woman that messaged me that she had, within the first 5 months of starting the medication, she not only had to have her gallbladder removed, but her appendix, because of the medication. I know in this day and age that everybody has their own opinions, and everybody thinks that they're an expert in this, whatever it is that they're watching online, and they all are entitled to their opinions. That's what makes this country. We're all entitled to our own opinions. We all have our right to voice our own opinions. But just because you have that right to voice what your opinion is doesn't mean that that opinion is factual, and that doesn't mean that your opinion is right. And I'm not telling you that what you think is wrong. I'm just telling you that it's not right. And, had you have asked me, 6-7 days ago, some of these questions, I would have told you were crazy. But being that I've done these videos, and I've gotten between all of them, well over 100,000 views, and something like 20-something thousand comments, and reading all the comments and going through. If I don't respond to each and every one of you guys, I do want you guys to know that I do read every one of your comments. And I've been writing some stuff down and screenshotting a lot of the comments and stuff like that, because it's stuff that I want to remember, to be able to talk about later. If you guys are not aware, I was set up with, and I'm supposed to be meeting with a news station that is wanting to do an actual story on this. They're already working on a story as it is. So tomorrow, which is Monday, I don't know if they're going to reach out to me or do the interview tomorrow, but they are supposed to be setting this up. And it is from King 5 News out of Seattle, Washington. So they are interested in doing the story. They are going to do a story. And they want me to be a part of the segment because they want me to voice what has happened to me. Now, let me give you a little bit of an update as to how I'm feeling today. So it is Sunday, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Last night was the first night in weeks, well, not weeks, about probably 8 or 9 days, that I had been able to sleep all the way through the night. I've seen a lot of you guys' comments telling me to take some Pepto-Bismol last night for the acid reflux. And I did that along with, I also was eating toast. My mouth is like really dry and it's like cracked right here. But I was eating toast and bread and stuff like that throughout the day yesterday to help suck up some of the stomach acid. And I seen a lot of you guys were commenting on Pepto-Bismol. And I forgot that I actually had, if you guys can see it sitting over there, the box, but I actually had some Pepto-Bismol tablets in my arsenal of medication. And so I went and grabbed some and took some as soon as I seen that comment last night. And thank you for each and every one of you guys who commented that, because I think you guys really, really, really helped me. I was able to sleep last night. The acid reflux was perfect. I took, I got so many damn pillows on this couch you can't see. I got 2 like really big pillows. I took those and put them on the bed last night and created a really big ramp in this pillow. And I went to sleep kind of like this just to be sure, because I got woken up the night before with like choking on acid and like throwing it up. And so I woke up this morning at 9:30 and I was pretty much laying completely flat in the bed. Had no acid reflux at all. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, like I said. I still don't have any acid reflux. I'm feeling pretty good. I actually got up and cleaned out the refrigerator. My partner's in the shower right now. I'm getting ready to go shower. And we're going to go to the grocery store and pick up some stuff because I haven't been to the grocery store in over a week. And so we're going to go do that. And yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still extremely hoarse from all the vomiting that I've done. I'm hoping that my voice comes back at some point. I'm hungry, which is a shocker because I haven't been hungry in weeks. And so I'm hungry, and I'm actually thinking about being really brave and going through the McDonald's drive-thru and getting like a little hamburger or something like that. I'm not like, I don't want to overdo it, but I want something in my stomach. So I don't know what I'm going to get, but I'm going to get something. So anyway, I wanted to give you guys those updates because I've been seeing the comments. There's been a lot of support, and I appreciate it so very much. I do want you guys to know that I am going to continue to advocate for people that are having these adverse reactions to these GLP-1 medications. You know, GLP-1 medications, I think, with more research and more governing from the federal government and testing and things like that, I think these medications do have the ability to be a really good thing for people, because there is a lot of people that are severely overweight and couldn't lose the weight on their own. And you know, I think it's beneficial. However, there needs to be some more testing. It needs to be regulated a lot better. So I do plan on continuing to advocate for everybody. I have a platform, thankfully, not only here on TikTok, but I do have a YouTube channel. I haven't posted anything on YouTube in the last few weeks, but I do plan on doing a series on YouTube as well. It's the same name as here on my TikTok. So if you guys would like, please go over there and follow me as well. And I'm able to interact with you guys a little bit more because, you know, TikTok kind of shuts you down after you follow too many people back. But yeah, so I will keep you guys posted. I'm going to continue to post every single day and give you guys updates on what's going on and what I know. I am going to speak with an attorney again tomorrow, and so we'll go from there. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm out of time. Love you guys. Have a great day.